what did we just watch? What the heck was that? I mean, that looked like a performance from Liverpool, much like what we've seen this season. 0-0 draw against Leeds United at Anfield. They've had 5 days rest between the Wolverhampton Wanderers game and the Fulham game, and the drop in performance from that first half against Wolves is crazy. We just look like there's nothing tactical. There's no tactical instructions. There's no we don't have a defined style on how we're playing. It's boring to watch. It's not winning games. Yeah, I'm sort of lost for words. I thought for the first half we struggled to maintain position and be effective when on the ball in position. I thought Leeds were great at that, especially in the first half. I thought they had the better sort of moments when they were in position. I thought we really struggled to progress the ball and be positive and get shots on. And I thought Leeds they looked better in terms of the passing to one another as well. I thought we made a heap of sloppy mistakes, and I'll get into that shortly because I thought Jones had one of his poorer games in a while in terms of he wasn't making those passes that we've come to expect of Jones in the last couple of games. He wasn't, and just simple passes as well. We're not talking extravagant, long ball pings or 20-yard passes or whatever. It was just the basic stuff. Now, I don't think there's any reason as to why, because again, there was a 5-day break between the game. He dropped Chiesa, he dropped McAllister, and he dropped Kirkes. He brought Szoboszlai back into the thing. Now, he's had a longer break than the rest of the squad because of his suspension. So he missed the Wolves game anyway. So he's had a longer break. That sort of made sense. But again, I probably would have just rolled out the team that played against Wolves. Kept McAllister on, started Chiesa, and started Kirkes. I think there's a core group of players, especially the young players in Jones, Wirtz, Kirkes, and Ekitike that are starting to gel, starting to find their feet together. And he goes and drops Kirkes. It's sort of out of the blue. It didn't make any sense to me. And none of those players, they all got on the field at one point, but never on the field at the same time. And it doesn't make sense because Arne Slot talks about these players. The more they play together, they'll start gelling, they'll start getting. So why aren't they playing? Why did you drop them? I thought we didn't have the same. I thought Wirtz had sort of a weaker game. And maybe that was due to the fact that Kirkes wasn't on that left-hand side. He had Robertson there to start with. Because Wirtz was... the second we saw Gakpo warming up on that sideline, we knew Wirtz's day was pretty much done. Which is crazy because he pulled him off in 66 minutes. And at that point, we're 0-0, and you're chasing goals. You need a goal, and you're taking off your creator. But whatever. He took off Jones as well and put Kirkes on. Now, he put Kirkes and Gakpo on at the same time, which makes absolutely no sense to anyone. Because I don't know if you've watched this season, but Gakpo and Kirkes aren't working together. The one time Gakpo has come out of the team, Kirkes has looked $1 million. He started showing the form that he was showing at Bournemouth, which is, bombing up, hitting that byline, cutting the crosses in. Actually, being a lot more confident in his 1v1 situations and stuff like that. And I thought his understanding with Wirtz was just starting to get better. Those four in particular that I mentioned just before were starting to combine perfectly. And what does he do? He takes off Curtis Jones, one of those four. He takes off Wirtz, another one of those four. And then chucks on Kirkes. It doesn't make any sense. Because within the first 5 or 10 minutes that Gakpo was on, we had a prime example of what's been happening all season so far. Gakpo, he had the option to play. It's just funny. It makes me laugh. He had the option to play that ball down the byline to Kirkes for the overlap, for Kirkes to get in. And I think at this point we had numbers, if not in the box already, but arriving into the box. And what does he do? He takes it inside. He cuts inside. He does what Gakpo does. He takes it inside and he absolutely rifles it into the first defender. It doesn't even, if it makes the box, the defender's just inside the box. If it does. I can't even remember it that well. But it doesn't go past the first defender. It hits him. It's dumb stuff like that. And it's just a, waste of opportunities. It's getting crazy. I didn't understand the two right backs starting. I mean, I can understand Frimpong starting at right wing when you're missing a thing, but I don't at the same time because Chiesa's right there. And I didn't, again, we can go back to my other videos. I didn't think Chiesa put a foot wrong in the time that he was on the field. And I actually thought the sort of positioning that Frimpong was set up in today, I thought if you put Chiesa there, he might have had a field day. Again, he seems to be the only one in the dying stages of the game that is putting his ass on the line and absolutely getting to absolutely everything. At one stage he was towards halfway and he had the ball for a throw-in, and none of our players wanted to be there. And so we're ticking up time on the clock. I think we had maybe just under 2 minutes left of extra time, and no one's showing for the bloke. We're chasing a goal. What is happening with the team? It doesn't make any sense. So I don't understand why the two right backs started. I thought Frimpong was doing really, really well, challenging them out wide on the right, and he drove in on the angle, and he was taking them on. He was making some sort of Gareth Bale-esque runs, if you know what I'm talking about. I think it was on Sergio Roberto in an El Clasico. But he just the ball goes beyond the play, and he's just gassing around them. I think he had Rafael Strauch for breakfast a few times there. But again, you're looking at that, you're observing that, and you know he can't do that all game. And then he takes off Connor Bradley. Frimpong stays on, and you thought, oh, here we go. But Frimpong doesn't go into right back. He chucks Szoboszlai right back. And this, to me, this is a worry. This is a concern because these two players in particular have had their injuries this season, and we've got Joe out. Bradley, he got a knock again today at some point, but he looked like he was fine. And then Frimpong has been injured as well this season, and them two on the field at the same time just doesn't make any sense when you've only got, I think, on the bench, Calvin Ramsey to turn to. And I thought Calvin Ramsey, that one time he made an appearance, did fantastic, and he's never been seen again. So we know regardless if those two get injured, we're not going to see. He'll chuck on Lucky before we see Calvin Ramsey again. What do we got here? What else have I got down in my notes? I didn't understand the Wirtz substitution. I thought we needed our creative mind on the field. We're chasing a goal. He took him off. Arne Slot's come out after the game and he said it's purely a fitness precautionary thing. So I don't know how much you want to believe in that. Because I thought with maybe Kirkes coming on, that maybe he would start, maybe combining that bit better than what he was doing for the first sort of 60 minutes. But it never happened, so it is what it is. I thought the best thing to come out of the game was Rio Numoa's cameo. He had 6 minutes before he had on the stoppage time, and he just looked good. Why? Because he's a winger. He's a freaking winger, and he is direct, he's skillful, he's unassuming. How many players he took on in that last 12 minutes total that he had on the field, I don't know. But he was sending them for donuts. Why is that again, we've only seen Rio now for the first time in ages. And why is it he only gets 6 minutes? It's frustrating because he looked more of a threat than Cody Gakpo was, and Gakpo had, how much time Gakpo had on the field, and Rio Numoa had 6 minutes plus stoppage time. It's crazy. I thought Leeds United were the team that looked like they were going to nick something. If anything, I thought, I mentioned this in the video the other day, that Calvert-Lewin was going to be a threat. He's like one of those ones like Richarlison. I hate Richarlison, but you just know when he comes up against you, he's going to do everything to get a goal. Put his foot to absolutely anything. He did the other day. He put his foot to that goal. And it's just Calvert-Lewin, bro. He gets that goal, puts it in the back of the net. He was offside, but again, only one to put the ball in the back of the net. And I just thought that would be the story of today. It would just be, they'd just nick one at the end, and we'd go home with 0 points. But yeah, luckily that was called offside. But I mean, point shared's probably not a fair result for Leeds, but I mean, it's a point for Liverpool, and I suppose they'll take it. I suppose final takeaways from this. It's 1 point. It puts us 3 points above Chelsea, thanks to their Bournemouth result yesterday. So we should have made it 5. It is 3. It is what it is. We're 6 points behind Aston Villa now, who sit in 3rd. And that puts us 12 points off first. I know Man City are playing right now. I don't know the score of that game. A clean sheet. Obviously, defensively, those two at the back, I thought they were more solid today. I thought Canade had a better game than what he did against Wolves. And he has done this season. I thought Canade had a better game. I thought Van Dijk did what he needed to do. A clean sheet. Rio cameo, I thought was the highlight, and we move on to Fulham in 3 days' time, Monday morning for us in Australia. Well, hopefully we get 3 points, but again, it's Craven Cottage. I mean, it's sort of a struggle place for us of recent. So that's all I gotta say.